Jr.'s life. No, I'm in his life through spirit and prayer because his mother has refused to have any contact with me. And she won't have no contact with John unless she have the same kind of contact that he have with Jaden. And I don't think they get along enough like that. And they not. The only reason that John and Jaden can get along like that is because I'm in their business. And because, and that's the God's honest truth. They both know it. Jaden and John get along that because I'm big mama in their business. Callie and her baby daddies get along like this because I'm big mama and I'm in their business. If she not fucking with her baby daddy, I'm fucking with him still. I still go take Carter, call, have Carter call, whatever. Big mama supposed to be in your business for a reason.
Just when the internet thought the Blueface and Chrisean Rock saga couldn't possibly get messier, boom, another chapter dropped like a surprise reality show episode nobody was ready for. This time, the drama didn't come from Chrisean, Blueface, or even one of their viral live streams. Nope. The chaos came from Blueface's mom, Karlissa, and let's just say she did not hold back. Because according to Karlissa, there's a whole situation happening behind the scenes that fans didn't fully understand yet. And the moment she started talking, social media instantly turned into a digital courtroom. Suddenly, timelines were filled with clips, reactions, and arguments flying in every direction like it was a WWE press conference. Karlissa claimed that Chrisean Rock is stopping Blueface from seeing his son. And the reason behind it might involve another familiar name in this never-ending drama, Jaden Alexis. Yes, the same Jaden who has already been tangled in the Blueface love triangle storyline that's been keeping gossip blogs busy for months. HS.now if you've been watching this saga from the beginning, you already know nothing in this story is ever simple. Relationships shift faster than trending hashtags, alliances change overnight, and every news statement somehow creates 3 more controversies. So the moment Karlissa started explaining her side of the story, the internet went into full investigation. Mo.fans started debating whether she was telling the truth. Critics accused her of stirring up more drama. Others said the situation showed how complicated the entire family dynamic has become, and before anyone could slow things down. The clips from her comments were already spreading across TikTok and Instagram like wildfire. Within hours, the internet had split into 2 loud teams. Team Karlissa insisted she was defending her son and exposing what's really happening. Team Chrisean fired back, saying the situation was being twisted for attention. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise, one big question started echoing across social media. Is Chrisean really keeping Blueface away from his child? Or is this just another explosive episode in the never-ending Blueface family drama series? To really understand why Karlissa's comments instantly exploded across social media, you have to rewind the story a little bit, because this drama didn't appear out of nowhere. The relationship between Chrisean Rock and Blueface has been one of the internet's most chaotic sagas for years now. It's the kind of storyline that feels less like real life and more like a never-ending reality show that somehow keeps getting renewed for enough. Our season from viral arguments to emotional live streams, fans have watched nearly every chapter unfold in real time. Their relationship has been filled with dramatic breakups, reconciliations, accusations, and public confrontations that spread across the internet faster than celebrity gossip blogs can keep up. So whenever a news statement drops, people immediately start paying attention. And that's exactly what happened when Karlissa stepped into the conversation. Now Karlissa is not exactly a silent observer in this saga. If anything, she has become one of the loudest voices surrounding the situation. Over time, she has developed her own audience online, regularly sharing opinions about the drama involving her son and Chrisean. Sometimes those comments calm the situation down, but most of the time they add gasoline to the fire. So when Karlissa began speaking about the issue of Blueface seeing his son, people knew things were about to get messy, according to her claims. The situation between Blueface and Chrisean has become so complicated that it's now affecting whether he can spend time with his child. and in typical internet drama fashion. She didn't just stop at that statement. She went further and suggested that another familiar name might be part of the reason behind the tension. That name was Jaden Alexis. Now, if you've been following this storyline for a while, you already know Jaden has been connected to the drama before. Her relationship with Blueface has been part of the complicated love triangle narrative that fans have debated endlessly online. Some viewers believe she represents a new chapter in Blueface's life, while others think the situation is far more complicated than it appears on the surface. So the moment Karlissa mentioned her name in connection with the situation involving the child, the internet immediately reacted. Clips of Karlissa's comments started circulating across TikTok and Instagram within minutes. Reaction pages reposted the footage with dramatic captions suggesting that the family drama had reached a new level. Fans quickly jumped into the comments, arguing about what the statements actually meant, and just like that, the internet started splitting into sides again. One group of fans believed Karlissa was simply defending her son. They argued that if Blueface truly wasn't able to see his child, then it made sense for his mother to speak out about the situation. According to these supporters, Karlissa was doing what many parents would do when they believe their child is being treated unfairly. But the other side of the internet had a completely different reaction. Critics accused Karlissa of making the situation even worse by discussing private family matters online. They argued that the drama surrounding Chrisean and Blueface has already been extremely public, and bringing even more personal details into the spotlight only increases the chaos. And the truth is, both sides of the debate had strong opinions, because when a situation involves relationships, family, and children, emotions tend to run extremely high. Social media users began sharing their own perspectives about parenting, custody, and how celebrities should handle personal conflicts in public. Meanwhile, gossip blogs and commentary channels were having a field day with the story. Headlines started popping up suggesting that the Blueface family drama had reached another explosive chapter. Commentary videos began analyzing Karlissa's statements and speculating about what might really be happening behind the scenes. Some creators even compared the entire situation to a dramatic episode of a reality show. Reunion. Because honestly, the energy surrounding the story felt exactly like that. Every time someone shared a new opinion, another reaction would appear seconds later. Fans argued in comment sections. Influencers posted breakdown videos, and the narrative surrounding the drama kept growing bigger and bigger. But the most interesting part of the entire situation was something that hadn't happened yet. Chrisean Rock had not responded. And if there's one thing the internet knows about Chrisean, it's that silence from her usually doesn't last forever. Fans began waiting to see if she would address Karlissa's claims directly or ignore the situation completely. Either option had the potential to change the story dramatically. Because if Chrisean chose to respond, the situation could easily turn into another viral back-and-forth exchange that dominates social media for days. But if she stayed silent, the speculation would likely continue growing without any clear answers. And that uncertainty only made people more curious. Within hours, the conversation surrounding Karlissa's comments had already turned into one of the most talked about topics in celebrity gossip circles. The combination of family tension, relationship drama, and viral internet reactions created the perfect recipe for another massive online spectacle. But as intense as the reactions already were, the real explosion hadn't even happened yet, because the moment new reactions started coming from fans, influencers, and people connected to the situation. Now, if you thought Karlissa's comments would simply float around the internet for a few hours and quietly disappear, you clearly forgot how social media handles drama like this. Because the moment her statements about Chrisean Rock and Blueface's son started spreading, the internet didn't just react, it completely exploded. Clips of Karlissa talking began circulating everywhere. TikTok pages reposted them with Dramatic captions, Instagram blogs framed the situation like breaking celebrity news, and before anyone could slow things down. The entire timeline was filled with people arguing about who was telling the truth. Suddenly, the situation felt less like a family disagreement and more like a full-blown internet trial. One side of the internet immediately rallied behind Karlissa. Supporters said she was simply speaking up for her son and exposing what might really be happening behind the scenes. According to them, if Blueface truly wasn't able to see his child, then it made sense for his mother to voice her concerns. But the other side wasn't having it. Critics quickly fired back, accusing Karlissa of stirring up unnecessary drama and making a private situation even messier. Some people argued that talking about sensitive family matters online only fuels the chaos that already surrounds the Blueface and Chrisean storyline. And just like that, the internet divided itself into teams again. Team Karlissa believed she was defending her son. Team Chrisean believed the story was being twisted. And once those teams formed, the arguments started getting louder by the minute. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds where fans debated custody, parenting, and relationship drama like they were hosting a live talk show. Every new reaction sparked 3 more responses, and the conversation began spreading faster than gossip blogs could post updates. Then something else happened that made the story even bigger. The memes arrived because nothing fuels viral drama. Like a good meme, social media users started joking that the entire Blueface family situation feels like a never-ending reality show where every week brings a new shocking episode. Some even compared the chaos to a Zeus Network reunion special, where everyone is yelling across the stage while the audience watches in disbelief. But while the jokes were spreading, the debate itself was getting more intense. Influencers and commentary channels started weighing in on the situation. Some creators defended Karlissa, arguing that parents naturally want to protect their children and speak up when they believe something is wrong. Others said the situation highlights how messy celebrity relationships can become when every disagreement plays out in front of millions of viewers. And then, as expected, another familiar name entered the conversation again: Jaden Alexis. Fans began speculating about her connection to the situation after Karlissa mentioned her while discussing the family drama. Some users believe Jaden's presence in Blueface's life had complicated the relationship dynamics even further. Others argued that the internet was dragging her into a situation that might be far more complicated behind the scenes. Either way, her name instantly reignited the entire love triangle narrative that has followed this saga for months. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about whether Blueface could see his son anymore. Now people were discussing past relationships, loyalty, jealousy, and the complicated web of emotions surrounding the entire situation. In other words, the drama had officially reached soap opera levels. And the internet loved every second of it. Reaction videos began appearing across YouTube and TikTok, analyzing Karlissa's statements frame by frame. Some creators treated the situation like investigative journalism, breaking down timelines and past interviews to understand what might actually be happening behind the scenes. Others approached the story with sarcasm, joking that the Blueface family drama has produced more plot twists than a Marvel movie franchise. But the most interesting part of the entire situation was the growing tension surrounding Chrisean's silence. Despite the massive online debate happening around her name, she hadn't responded publicly yet. Fans kept refreshing her social media pages, expecting a reaction at any moment. Because historically, when Chrisean enters a conversation, things escalate very quickly. And everyone knew that if she decided to address Karlissa's comments directly, the internet would immediately explode again. The suspense alone was enough to keep people talking. Some fans predicted she would defend herself and challenge Karlissa's claims. Others believed she might ignore the situation entirely, refusing to feed another round of viral drama. But while everyone waited for her response, something interesting started happening. the conversation slowly shifted away from the specific details of Karlissa's statement and toward a bigger discussion about the entire Blueface Chrisean storyline. People began reflecting on how long this saga has been dominating internet headlines. Some viewers expressed exhaustion with the constant drama. Others admitted they can't stop watching because the story keeps delivering unpredictable twists. It's like a reality show where nobody knows what the next episode will bring. And just when it seemed like the internet had reached peak chaos, new commentary started appearing suggesting that the situation might have deeper emotional consequences for everyone involved. Because behind the memes, debates, and viral posts, there are real families navigating extremely complicated relationships under the spotlight of millions of strangers. But the internet rarely slows down long enough to think about that. Instead, it keeps pushing the story forward, searching for the next dramatic moment. And according to the growing speculation online, that next moment might arrive the second Chrisean Rock finally decides to speak. Because if she responds to Karlissa's claims, the entire narrative could shift overnight. And when that happens, the Blueface family drama might reach a level of chaos that makes everything we've seen so far look calm in comparison. By the time the internet finished debating Karlissa's claims, the story had already grown far bigger than anyone originally expected. What started as a single statement quickly transformed into a full-scale online saga with fans, influencers, and gossip pages all trying to piece together what might actually be happening behind the scenes. As the dust slowly began settling, something interesting started happening. People began stepping back and looking at the bigger picture surrounding the entire Blueface and Chrisean drama. Because this situation wasn't just about one comment from Karlissa anymore. It had become part of a much longer story that has kept social media entertained for years. From their explosive relationship to viral arguments and public breakups, the entire saga has unfolded like a chaotic reality show playing out in real time. And the internet has watched every single episode. But this latest chapter brought a new emotional element into the conversation. The involvement of a child. Suddenly the discussion wasn't just about relationship drama or celebrity gossip. People began talking about family dynamics, parenting responsibilities, and how difficult it must be to raise a child under the microscope of social media. That shift changed the tone of the conversation. Some fans started saying that the situation should be handled privately instead of becoming another viral debate. They argued that children should never become part of internet arguments, no matter how dramatic the situation between adults might be. Others, however, continued defending Karlissa. They believed she was simply speaking out because she felt protective of her son and grandson. According to these supporters, family members often feel the need to defend loved ones when they believe something unfair is happening, and that perspective kept the debate alive. Meanwhile, the internet continued waiting for one very important reaction: Chrisean Rock's response. Because throughout the entire storm of reactions, Chrisean remained relatively quiet. That silence created an unusual kind of tension online. Fans kept refreshing her pages, expecting her to address Karlissa's statements at any moment. And if there's one thing people know about Chrisean, it's that when she decides to speak, things rarely stay calm. Some viewers predicted that she might respond emotionally and directly challenge Karlissa's claims. Others believed she might choose a calmer approach and avoid escalating the situation further. Either way, everyone agreed that her response could dramatically change the entire story. But while the internet waited, another interesting realization began spreading. The entire situation highlighted how deeply invested social media audiences have become in the lives of certain celebrities. The Blueface Chrisean saga has developed such a strong online following that every new development instantly becomes trending content. For some fans, it feels like watching a dramatic series where the plot constantly evolves. But for others, the situation raises uncomfortable questions about how much of people's personal lives should be discussed in public. Because while the drama generates endless headlines and viral clips, it also involves real families navigating complicated relationships. And that's where the story starts becoming more complicated than simple gossip. Some viewers began pointing out that the internet often encourages conflict by rewarding the most dramatic moments with attention and views. The louder the argument, the more viral the clip becomes. In other words, social media sometimes turns personal struggles into entertainment. And the Blueface family drama might be one of the clearest examples of that phenomenon, because every time someone involved in the story speaks publicly, the internet instantly amplifies it. Fans analyze every word, critics challenge every claim, and the narrative keeps growing bigger with each new reaction. But here's the twist that many people started noticing as the conversation continued. Despite the massive online debate, none of the fans actually know the full story. The real details of the situation remain known only to the people directly involved. Everything else spreading across social media is speculation, interpretation, and commentary. And that realization created one final wave of discussion. Some fans began questioning whether the internet should be judging such a complicated situation without understanding the full context. Others argued that public figures naturally face public scrutiny when their personal lives become part of their public image. Both perspectives revealed something important about the entire saga. The internet doesn't just observe stories anymore. It actively shapes them. Every comment, reaction video, and viral meme pushes the narrative in a new direction. And sometimes the online reaction becomes just as dramatic as the situation itself. But as the arguments slowly started fading from trending pages, one big question remained hanging in the air. Will this chapter of the Blueface family drama eventually lead to resolution and peace? Or will the internet soon witness another explosive episode in a story that never seems to run out of twists? Because if history has taught fans anything about this saga, and honestly, if there's one thing this entire situation proves, it's that the Blueface family drama never stays quiet for long. Every time the internet thinks the story is finally slowing down, another twist appears out of nowhere, and suddenly social media turns into a full reality show reunion again. One comment, one live stream, one interview, and boom, the entire internet is arguing like it's the final round of a WWE match. But now the real question is for you. What do you actually think about Karlissa calling out Chrisean Rock? Do you believe Karlissa was simply defending her son and speaking the truth about the situation? Or do you think this whole drama is getting blown way out of proportion by the internet once again? Because let's be real for a second, every time something happens in this saga, social media turns into a giant investigation center. Fans become detectives, commentators become analysts, and the comment section becomes the wildest courtroom you've ever seen. Some people believe Karlissa is exposing the truth. Others believe the situation should stay private and off the internet. But the only place where the real debate happens is right down in the comments. So go ahead and tell us your honest opinion. Who do you think is right in this situation? Karlissa, Chrisean? Or do you think the entire situation is just another messy chapter in the never-ending Blueface drama? And while you're here, make sure you smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss the next viral celebrity meltdown. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's this. The internet drama never sleeps, the headlines never stop, and the next shocking story is always right around the corner. And when it drops, you'll hear it first right here on Celeb SYNC.